Welcome to Kurt's Home Living. I'm going to be making a beef stroganoff with a hint of jerkness. And these are the ingredients which I'll be cooking with this evening. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be making a jerk beef stroganoff with some beef round. And I'm going to be serving that over some egg noodles with some steamed veggies, some broccoli and cauliflower. I have some sour cream, which is going to be put in at the last minute. I have my homemade seasonings, my celery salt, and my allspice. I have some wine, which is going to be included in my sauce. Some beef bouillon base. It's going to be for my broth. I'm going to be marinating this beef in some Worcester sauce, some Maggi all-purpose seasoning, which is very popular in the Caribbean, and some soy sauce. I have some garlic that I'm going to be cutting up, some ginger, a habanero pepper, which I'm going to be taking the seeds out, some red pepper, onions, and some mushrooms. Let's put these away first. We have to cut this meat up. Get this stuff to marinating. Okay, this is the beef round, as I said. And I'm going to cut it parallel to the board first. It's kind of thick. Let's get these out the way. Let's trim it up first. We're going to get some of this fat off of here. And I'll be saving this fat because I use this in when I grind my meat up for burgers and sausages. Okay, let's cut this parallel to the board so we can get some nice, even, thin slices out of it. We're going to just work our way around. And sort of like butterflying it. And now we have it manageable. You can cut against the grain. Get some nice, sort of like stir-fried beef slices. Maybe a little thicker than stir-fried beef slices. Okay, that should just about do it for our beef. I'm going to go ahead and get our marinade started. I like to spread my meat out within the bowl so it can be evenly coated, whether it's with seasonings, oil, or marinade. We're going to put a little oil on this first before we even start our marinade to get a nice coat on it, so when we put it in the skillet, it'll be ready to go. Mix that thoroughly with a spoon. Make sure every piece of meat gets the olive oil on it. We'll start with a little bit of Worcester sauce. Probably about a teaspoon of Worcester sauce. My measurements aren't exact. We're going to go ahead with our Maggi. And I say this is 2 teaspoons of Maggi all-purpose seasoning and about a teaspoon of soy sauce. I'm not going to go with any salt or anything like that because those seasonings, those liquids have enough salt in it to flavor the meat for the quick marinade. We're going to add a little bit of our allspice ground up. In Jamaica, they call it pimento seed. We're going to mix that thoroughly with our spoon. Salt. We have plenty of salt with the Maggi, soy sauce. Okay, we're just going to let this hang out in the refrigerator. Although we cleaned off our board, we're still going to go ahead and flip it over for our vegetables. That's all I'm going to go with. As I said, we're going to take the insides and the seeds out of this habanero pepper. Cut down on the heat. As I said, this is going to be like a jerk beef stroganoff. I'm going to thinly slice our ginger. Two garlic cloves. And our mushrooms already thoroughly washed and they were dirty. We're going to put these in a separate bowl. We're not going to put them in initially. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn our pan on. Get that nice and hot. Got a pot of water over here. I'm going to go ahead and drop my egg noodles. A little over half a bag will do. Add a little bit of salt in this water. I have a little bit of water over here for my broccoli and cauliflower. I noticed that the meat, when I went in the refrigerator, I noticed that the beef round was starting to turn brown. So I said, well, let me get this out of here. I was going to use it a couple of days ago, and then Valentine's Day came. So, and I also noticed that my broccoli was starting to turn light green. So I said, let me get that out the way. It'll be good mixing it with cauliflower. We're going to get 2 cups of warm water in here. This is to make our broth. Have a little less than a tablespoon of beef broth here, beef base. Make sure this water is nice and hot so that base will melt up in there pretty good. And I have my broth already ready to go. That's nice and hot. 2 cups of water should suffice. I'm gonna also need a little bit of flour for this recipe. Couple heaping teaspoons should do it. Actually, it's a couple tablespoons. Okay, that should be good to go. What we're going to do is brown our meat and then take our meat out and then cook our vegetables, then start adding everything back in, the flour, the broth, the wine. Let's go ahead and get our beef out the refrigerator. Let's see, this is just going to be a quick marinade. We're going to do this in 2 stages. We're not going to do it all at the same time. We didn't even add oil to our pan. It's a cast iron skillet. From the oil that I already put in the beef with the marinade, that should be enough to keep it from sticking. Our noodles are just about done. We'll just let them sit in that water for a minute. You just want to do this for about a minute. This goes from 40 to 60 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and take our noodles. I have a strainer over here. going to rinse some warm water on these. Tastes pretty good already. Beef round is a pretty good cut of meat for stuff like this. Pepper steak, stir-fried beef, grounding up for burnt with ground meat. A lot of things you can do with this beef round. When I had my restaurant, I made a lot of pepper steak. So this is a similar, for the most part, a similar method. Only difference is the sour cream that you put in there. And the pepper steak has more peppers in it, as well as more vegetables. So that's all we want out of that. I'm going to go in with our butter. It's always good to scrape your pan from the drippings. That'll just enhance the flavor of the butter when the vegetables are cooked in it. We'll go with our onions, peppers, garlic, and ginger. We'll let these sweat for a couple of minutes.
Add a little salt. And here's where we're going to add our celery salt. The video on how I made this is available on YouTube, Kirk's Home Living. And our mushrooms. I'll add a little bit more allspice. A little Szechuan peppercorn. Pepper. Our flour. And it's going to get a little pasty, that's what you want. You want to keep cooking it. I think I must have touched my eyes after I cut that habanero pepper. Okay, we're going to go ahead with our broth. And our wine. And our meat. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Let's get a taste on that. Perfect. Let that wine cook out. That's a very good taste. Jerk Beef Stroganoff. And you can taste Jamaica all up in here. And the reason why I use a habanero is because it's in the same family as the Scotch bonnet. When I went to Jamaica the last time, I brought back a whole bunch of Scotch bonnet peppers. I made hot sauce out of some of them, most of them. Then the rest I took the seeds and grew them in my yard this past last year. I had like 4 Scotch bonnet pepper plants. So I'll save the seeds from those and I'll continue to grow them every year. So now we're going to go with the sour cream. First we're going to get our water on for our steamed broccoli and cauliflower. About a half a cup of sour cream. And I'm going to do a couple squeezes of Dijon mustard. Actually, it's going to be spicy brown. I don't have any Dijon mustard. Put a lid on it. Let it just simmer out. We're going to put a little bit of salt in this water, so we don't have to put any on our vegetables. Just let that steam, let that simmer. A little pepper in here. Spoon of butter in there. Nothing fancy to the vegetables. I try to keep my vegetables plain and simple, short and sweet. We're going to turn this down to low. Flavors are really there. Wow. That wine and the sour cream, and even the mustard does a lot. You got your Jamaican taste with the habanero and the pimento seeds. Allspice berries, however you want to say it. Simmering to go. Just to ensure that our meat is nice and tender. It's getting there. Five more minutes with that, as well as the beef. You gotta stir this periodically After you put the dairy in there, it's prone to stick. I say stir occasionally. Got some fresh parsley I'm going to chop up here. Okay, this is done. We're going to go ahead and take this out. This cast iron skillet is really hot. Hot and heavy. Okay, I'm there with the vegetables. Pour a little of the water off. Okay. There it goes. And here you have it. Beef stroganoff, quick dinner. Egg noodles and broccoli. With a jerk kick to it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.
Beef stroganoff, bursting with the flavors of the Caribbean. Delicious. Thanks for watching Kurt's Home Living. Beef jerkanoff.